Litecoin, LTC. This coin was developed by Charlie Lee in 2011. Charlie Lee, by the way, super liked guy in the community, used to work for Google, and simultaneously was writing some code for Litecoin. That's when he got it out. Was also working for Coinbase, which is an exchange for currencies, for cryptocurrencies. Left there to work solely on Litecoin. At one point, I think last year, he sold all his holdings in Litecoin. He sold them somewhere around the highs, and there was some, people talking about how come he sold it at that price or whatnot. And he had literally just sold them because he didn't want there to be any conflict of interest, because he loved working on this project so much, and he didn't want it to be monetary wise. So he liquidated all his holdings and he's working on this project solely. So he's really, a guy who's devoted to Litecoin. When you think of Litecoin, you're thinking of Charlie Lee. And he's a very light guy. He's a data scientist. He's pretty smart. And he's just, he's well-intended in a way, which is something you don't find too much in the crypto space. Sorry about that. The Litecoin is nearly identical as Bitcoin, but has some differences. It has faster block times, and it has more coins, so they increase the number of coins in the protocol, and it has a different hashing algorithm. So they use, I think, a hashing algorithm called Script instead of the SHA-256. So that's it. The idea for Litecoin, based on Charlie Lee, and if you listen to his talks, is basically he's saying, look, Bitcoin has its purpose. You can pay bigger amounts of money with it. It's a store of value. But what we want to do is we want to take over the space for microtransactions. If you want to go buy a bottle of water or a sandwich or something, we want that to be our use. Microtransactions, little transactions, so it's quick and it's very cheap. And that was his idea for Litecoin. So he sees the cryptocurrency space as having different currencies for different things, and for his currency to not replace other currency or be the biggest currency, but to fill that space of microtransactions. So if we go real quickly here on CoinMarketCap again, and Litecoin also, I think a few days ago it was higher, that's why I put it there. But Litecoin, it's the 7th now. Max supply 84 million, so more than Bitcoin. Litecoin and circulating supply 58 million. Trade at $57 as of today. So what is the protocol for Litecoin? Let's see. So they have a different hashing algorithm. They use the Script hashing algorithm. Block times are 2.5 minutes, so faster confirmations, right? They use a proof of work algorithm, same thing as Bitcoin. They adopted SegWit in 2017. SegWit is short for segregated witness, and basically this protocol, what it does is, in the blocks that we looked at earlier, where you had all the transactions, and let's actually draw it out here real quick, because this is a term you might hear often, so we might as well just explain it now. So what is SegWit? SegWit, which is segregated witness, right? It basically takes a block, and what we've seen, if I had Mo sends $20 to Omid, and then it has my signature here, right? Which could be a series of numbers or whatnot, but it has some code, and there's all these transactions, and there's all these codes, these signatures. Signatures take a lot of space. So what SegWit did is it cut off the signature parts from the transaction parts, put this part, attached it somewhere else just to make it simple. So basically we can fit in more transactions in this block because this part was taking so much space. It's heavier. So when we have a block, it's not a physical block, it's a size. So for Bitcoin, it's 1 megabyte blocks. So when we're looking at blocks and we're like, well, how can we fit more transaction in there? Well, they were like, well, let's implement segregated witness, where we remove the signatures, put them somewhere else, and have that there. And that makes us it enables us to put more transactions in one block. And they enabled SegWit very quickly, right? To have faster transactions. They've also implemented Lightning Network, right? So they have Lightning Network also implemented in 2017. Lightning Network is something you will often hear about as well. Again, I advise reading an article or two about it just to like get the deep grasp of how it works. But Lightning Networks permits you to do transactions off the chain, and once you have enough, then put them on. So then you can do a lot of transactions and then accumulate them, put them on the chain, and then you can do them very quickly. And that's why it's called Lightning, because it's right away, because it's not even on the chain. But they implemented those. Cons, a lot of competition for micropayments. Again, this is something that a lot of coins come out and they're like, yeah, what's our use? We want you to be able to use it to buy everyday things and very quickly. So again, a lot of competitions. But a good thing is that they've been here for a while, right? They've been in the top 10 for a long time, so they're not going anywhere. People trust them. It works. It's on a lot of exchanges, even a lot of gateway exchanges, which we'll go over that later. Overall, a good coin, and very liked by the community, run by somebody who's very honest, and I highly recommend going and following Charlie Lee and looking at some of his documentaries. Pretty nice guy, and you'll learn a lot from him.